Hello, this is Cinnabon18 and this is my review for The Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad is the product of the divorce between James Gunn and Marvel. And even though the happy couple is back together again, this movie just proved that who would have won if they would have stayed separated was really James Gunn. This is by far the best movie of the year that I've seen so far. Granted, I have not seen Mitchell's vs. the Machines or The Green Knight or any of the Sundance films. Unless, well, I guess it's all Judas and the Black Messiah, but I consider that, okay, that's the only Sundance movie I've seen. But The Suicide Squad was a really good movie. I always defended the first one, but I can now officially say that, yeah, the first one was not good. So, this one was entertaining. It was bloody. It was brutal. It was everything you want from a movie that is called The Suicide Squad. I feel like it's very accurate to James Gunn. I feel like this is what he wants to do, but Marvel won't let him do. They need to bring back James Gunn, especially if James Gunn is not doing Guardians of the Galaxy 4, which I don't believe they're going to make one, but you never know. I believe they need to bring him back for another Suicide Squad movie. This movie was entertaining. It was action-packed. It was basically DCEU done right. I hope for the sequel they can bring back Deadshot and we can see Bloodsport and Deadshot, see kind of how they interact. Even though Bloodsport kind of felt like he was supposed to be a stand-in for Deadshot, I'd kind of like to see how they would act together. And I'm also really curious to see how the spinoff show is going to go. I'm not going to do spoilers here, but I'm curious to see how the spinoff show with Peacemaker's character is going to end up. Which is I'm just curious as to what route they're going to take with that show. And this movie was surprising, but yet predictable. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, they went there. I didn't think they were going to go there, but they went there. This movie is definitely not for kids. I mean, you can take your kids if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. People will probably look at you weird, but I was 16 when I watched Deadpool, so kids will enjoy it, most of them. Some of them might be disturbed, but I'm not saying I would recommend it. But what do I know? I'm only 21, so this film, yeah, if you have HBO MAX and you don't want to pay for a ticket, watch it on HBO MAX. If you want to watch it in theaters, to support it in theaters, I'd definitely go watch it in theaters. Either way, I'd say you watch it if you're a fan of superhero movies and you're not fairly squeamish. And yeah, there's a little bit of sexual content, but it's not as prevalent as it was in Deadpool. I would definitely say this is worth a watch. If you're not a fan of superhero movies, then maybe not. I honestly was expecting it to be more violent, but I was the only one who didn't think it was very violent. But I guess I'm just not as sensitive to violence as most people. So, that being said, this movie is a definite 10 out of 10 for me. It is probably the DCEU's best movie by far. Well, those two don't make sense together. But, okay, it's the DCEU's best movie, probably by a decent margin. And it is my favorite DCEU movie by maybe not as big of a margin. I need to rewatch some of them and think about it as to see what would be my favorite, but they're really good. I know I haven't posted a video in a little bit, but hopefully I'll get back into doing this. This is Cinnabon18 signing out. See you later.